Alan Martin jumping against Andy Hayden. 6 is Ian Kirkpatrick. Now in this weather condition, this could very well be kickable. That's halfway to the left. Phil Bennett's got a big decision to make here. And Andy Irvine signals he will kick for goal. Now it's an awful long way out, this one from Irvine. That's the halfway, 22 metres line, and on to the goal line over 50 metres, nearly 60 metres away if you include the angle. But he can really bang them, Andy Irvine. So in the first minute of play. Great goal! What a start for the Lions. And encouragement for Phil Bennett, who will be delighted that Andy Irvine has put that early penalty over. Brad Johnston, Sid going, Duncan Robertson, Bill Osborne. Cobner, Duggan out there quickly. Bill Osborne. Batty. That's only 10 metres out. Going. A brilliant try for Sid Going. Sid Going decided to run, but then he changed his mind and put plan B into action, and it simply was to make the shortest trip possible to the line. The first try of the series. First 10 minutes, of course, important for the referee here. Williams off to Cobner. Brynma Williams keeping the ball in play. A run by Williams. And through Brynma Williams. It took Sid Going to get him. Big Moss Keane inside the 22. Graham Price on the ball. Williams. Fenwick. That's going to be too strong. Farrell back. That was really awkward for Farrell. All Blacks front row. Captain Tani Norton there. Lions scrum looks solid, doesn't it? Duggan. Brynma Williams. Well, the All Blacks have conceded another centre field penalty, that time against Duncan Robertson over the advantage line. Andy Irvine had 2 attempts. So it could be that the change of kicker here, and it is. It's a handy enough position from 35 metres. 19 minutes gone. Lions back in front. Bennett's successful penalty gives them 2 penalties to the All Blacks try, and the Lions lead by 6-4. Kevin Everly at halfway. Sid Going. Duncan Robertson, not a good pass. Bill Osborne, number 12. Now that's a penalty against the All Blacks in centre field, but I'm not at all sure what that was for. Let's look again. Bill Osborne, it could have been for Duncan Robertson obstructing those Lion defenders coming through. Scored 3 so far today, Phil Bennett. That's 3 more. British Isles 9, New Zealand 4. 5 minutes to halftime. Batty throws. Kevin Everly making the catch. The All Blacks in control, but awkward dispatch for Sid Going. Allowed to move again. Batty. Going. Batty. That's the 22 metres line. The control of this New Zealand team at the moment is astounding. Penalty in the ball there. Looks like Graham Price was the offender. Bitterly cold Wellington afternoon, I can tell you. A dramatic test match. Right by the post. Now is this a penalty or is it a try? It seems as though There is confusion on the field as to whether that's a try or a penalty, but in fact it's a try awarded to number 1, Brad Johnston. And there it is, scored. He hit the post as he dived. But the Lions, in fact, thought for a while it was a defensive penalty, and that was certainly the indication that Peter McDavitt gave with his signal. Tani Norton gathers the troops at halfway. That's the second try the All Blacks have scored, but they're still behind. It will depend on Brian Williams' kick from just by the post. All Blacks in front. 10 points to 8. But not only that, the All Blacks have looked in such great control. That's against Sid Going. Peter McDavitt is very sure of his decision. Three penalties to Phil Bennett, one to Andy Irvine, and the Lions now in the lead again by 12 to 10. Sid Going. Went a fraction too far. Tani Norton there quickly. So too Graham Price. Brynma Williams can run here. Brian Williams not sure who to take. Steve Fenwick. Trevor Evans, there's a line up out to the right. Batty! Intercept! Grant Batty. Well, one thing is for sure, from this move, if it hadn't have been an intercept by Batty, it must have been a try to the Lions. Look at the lineup they had out to the right. But Batty got the intercept. And just as Johan Oosthuizen did at Cape Town last year, it was a runaway all the way. Brian Williams from a handy position. Two conversions to Brian Williams at 16 points to 12. Sid Going. Away to Duncan Robertson. Reverse to Bill Osborne. Cutting back through the traffic. Lions reluctant to make that tackle when the ball is being run straight at them. Again for Sid Going. Chipping for Brian Williams. That's the goal line behind. The All Blacks continue to apply pressure on the Lions line, as they have done throughout this tremendous performance. Not put in correctly, not put in straight. Bennett kicks the ball to himself. Colin Farrell back at fullback. Williams. Just astray. Irvine will run it, and that just about compounds every error the Lions have made. For in the last act they knocked it on, and that error was symptomatic of what they did in this match. And the All Blacks have won the first test 16 to 12. The key factor in the match was pressure, winning of possession and denial of possession to the opposition. And Tani Norton, number 2, has souvenired the ball with which his team did it in his first appearance as All Black captain. A most successful debut for Norton as skipper, a most encouraging start in the series for Tani Norton and the All Black team. And John Dawes, you see standing in the tunnel, sees his team come off with the All Blacks winning the first test by 16 to 12.